So, within Lookism, there are many factors that can decide who wins a fight. These factors can range from speed to experience to the number of fingers and toes you have. However, beyond these things, there are a few factors that can be more important than all the others. In a world where martial arts are much more common than in our own, technique and skill have been shown to be one of these dominant aspects of fighting within Lookism. If you've read the title, you already know we're going to be tackling the topic of skill and technique, more specifically, who is the most skilled within the world of Lookism. Before we get into the main topic of the video, I'd like to ask if you could subscribe to help out the channel, and also follow my friend Villain, who made the thumbnail for this video and the Young video. He's helped me save a lot of time by making these high quality thumbnails, and he literally charges me nothing for these. So I'd appreciate it if you guys could give him a follow on Insta. And with that being said, let me stop rambling so we can get on with the video. Before we actually get into who is the most skilled, we first have to explain the importance of skill within the story. To begin, I will be using the terms skill and technique synonymously, meaning that when I say skill, I mean technique and vice versa. Anyways, with that being said, why is skill so important? First, let's look at Eli versus Vasco in the first affiliate. In this fight where Vasco obviously has the strength advantage, we see Eli negating his attack potency with his technique. We know this is the case because Eli also has mastery of technique. Then, against Basement Hulk, we see him do the same thing he did against Vasco. And this should stem from technique, as James literally does the exact same thing against Seong-ji. Seong-ji, who was superior to James in strength, had his attacks somewhat deflected because of James' superior technique. However, Seong-ji did have the strength mastery, so it didn't really work too well, but the point still stands. Not many people actually have the strength mastery anyway, so it just shows that technique can only really be overwhelmed by strength. With that being established, who is the most skilled fighter within Lookism? Well, the answer isn't what you'd expect. You see, someone like Gun is obviously worth talking about, as he's the teaching genius responsible for nurturing very strong fighters like Eli Zhang and Daniel Park. However, Gun more often than not probably gets outskilled by someone like James. Now, I see James as a much better option, as he's been referenced as the peak of fighting by Hudson, and he's been kind of compared to a god in the way he fights. Even having mastery of his skill just shows obviously how skilled he is, especially in comparison to Gun, whose fighting style is the opposite. It isn't simple and clean, it's much more brutal and bloody, and Gun honestly has always come off as more of a skilled brawler rather than a technician. Arguably even more skilled than James and Gun, we have UI Daniel, the man who's capable of mastering entire fighting styles just from seeing a single move. Unlike Johan, who copies techniques from various martial arts, Daniel copies the martial art as a whole, so it's not just the technique. Not only that, it's also used at the highest level. However, what if I told you that there was someone more skilled than all of these fighters? Someone who's able to outclass them when he's in his element? And what if I told you that this man was Jun-Gu Kim? Now, I already know what people are going to say, so let's have this discussion. Despite Gu's demeanor and him always joking around, he's actually the highest skilled fighter in PTJ as a whole. A lot of you don't understand, but his skill goes so far that any weapon he holds can become a sword, aka the weapon that he's most skilled and most dangerous with. But if that hasn't convinced you, in Manager Kim, it's revealed that Gu is a part of the Three Lunatics, a trio of individuals who are recognized by Master Cho as some of the most dangerous fighters in the world. His skill not only surpasses the limit of man, but it surpasses the sword itself. This statement could easily be glossed over as it's kind of just thrown in there. It's kind of hard to explain due to the nature of the statement. However, this is just utterly insane, and this would very well make him the most skilled fighter in Lookism. There's never been any mention of a fighter having this level of skill, a skill that transcends their method of combat. This is also why Gu could have an edge against fighters such as James and Gun, because he outclasses them with this skill. The main thing that makes this so crazy is the fact that he doesn't even need a sword, meaning that there's no real situation that would put him at a disadvantage unless he had no item at all. You could give him something as simple as a rock on the ground, and as soon as he wants it to be a sword, it's nothing less than that.